go time, baby. What's up, guys? Hey, I want to expand on an idea I touched on briefly in a previous video that a lot of you said was useful. So in this video, I want to do two things. The first, briefly explain to you what this concept is. The second, give you 5 practical tips to overcome it. The concept is this: the same way that excess calories in your body get stored as fats, excess information and potential gets stored in you as anxiety, fear, resistance. And that's why it feels so bad to just consume so much and feel like you're not producing enough. Overthinking isn't a sign that you're broken. It's a sign that you got too much creative fuel and nowhere to put it. Here's another way to look at this. Picture yourself 2 different days, okay? Day 1, you stay in your bed or your room and you're just learning a lot. Okay, so you're pulling out the phone, you're just consuming information. You're trying to get in shape. Okay, you research all the dieting advice out there, all the workout advice out there. You're trying to start a business. Okay, you just binge watch all the entrepreneurs telling you all these theories and tactics, social media trends. At the end of the day, you're full of possibility. I could do this. I know what I should do. But mixed with that, if you're honest, is negative self-talk. I should do insert the blank. I'm not doing insert the blank. Because every time you consume advice from someone telling you what you should do, you put it in your brain and it's now a pass or fail. I'm either doing it or I'm not. And if I'm not, that guy said I should be doing it, so now it's ammunition to beat myself up and self-attack on. But then there's day 2. This is where maybe you don't consume as much, but you are crushing it. You're taking action. Your habits are dialed in. And even if you're not there yet on your goal, there's hope that if you string enough of those days together, you will be. Now, which one of those 2 days you put your head down on your pillow at night, do you sleep better? Day number 2. Which one of those 2 days do you feel like you're closer to your goal? Day number 2. Which one of those 2 days do you feel like life is lighter, you can do it, you're more optimistic? Day number 2. The point is we get caught in this consumption rabbit hole and we think that the answers are outside of us, that we need to learn something. And that can be true. There's plenty of times where you lack a skill set and you need to go learn and research, but it works in tandem with output. Input, output. And if this balance is off, mentally, we get fat. And that excess fat is excess potential showing up for you as resistance, anxiety, and fear. Still water in nature is full of disease. It's like a still swamp, right? Don't drink that if you watch any of those survival shows or you know, guys on the internet who love like camping. They'll always tell you, don't drink the still water because it's not moving. And so bacteria, it's a cesspool. It just breeds and, you know, you'll grow a 3rd arm if you drink some of that probably. The point is when it's not moving, disease grows. But then there's flowing water and that's better because it's moving. And so bacteria can't just breed in there and disease can't breed in there. That's the same thing with us, is that when you are still and not moving, right? That's when all the ick creeps in. That's when all the fear and self-judgment and comparison. But when you're moving, even if you're not at your goal yet, even if you haven't succeeded yet, you don't have room for any of that to creep in and take place and start breeding depression and anxiety in you. You got momentum, and that's a fun place to be because you know if I can just string enough of these days together, why wouldn't this work? Of course it's gonna pan out for me. Like if I just do everything I know I should be doing, it'll work. I don't think you have a lack of information problem. You have a lack of implementation problem. So I want to give you some practical tips and advice here, things that aren't just theoretical, but you can actually use, okay? Like things that I have used to get from stagnation or to go from overthinking, procrastinating, burnouts to moving and tapping into the progress, feeling alive, and getting that flow. I got 3 to 5 of these depending on how much time we got here, okay? The first one, create before you consume. This is the biggest one. Just the same way, to use our analogy, how do you lose weight? You need to produce more energy than you're taking in and you'll burn off the excess. The exact same thing here. So if you're trapped in your head, create more, lock in, Do it first thing in the morning before you take in anything else from anyone. If this is getting in a routine where you wake up an hour earlier and just focus on your one thing. Maybe this is an information diet, deleting short form content on your phone. The point is that anxiety is just creativity without a direction. So find a way to direct it towards your one thing, your goal. And I think the anxiety overthinking will fade away, diminish a little. Next one, this is speed to implementation. This has served me extremely well. Not get caught in overthinking and second guessing. You have something really pure you want to share, or when you say something the first time, it sounds really natural, but the more you say it, the more rehearsed it gets, or the more you think it, the more disjointed it feels, like it lost that authenticity. You know, you just rewrite the same thing over and over, and by the end, it doesn't sound like you. Or you have a business idea and it's flowing when you first think of it, but the more you analyze it, the choppier it gets and it blurs together and you lose sight of the vision. This is a rule I have with content. If I don't film the video within 48 hours of writing it or coming up with the idea, then it's toast. If I let a video sit on the vine too long, it over ripens and it rots. We got analogies for days today, all right? No, but it overcooks. I think there's something to speed to implementation that keeps things pure. Next up, if you're feeling afraid to do something, good. That is your North Star. Fear is not a warning sign that this is dangerous, do not do it. Fear is a North Star that you pursue. That's where we need to go. So everything you want is on the other side of your fear. And you ever had something where you were so afraid, or maybe you were overthinking it, and then you just talk it out loud with someone and you're like, yeah, that's never gonna happen. I can't believe that was how I felt or thought it was gonna go. Or you ever like been afraid to do something and your mind just plays the worst case scenario about it? Oh, if I go up and talk to her, dude, she's gonna throw a drink in my face and there's no way I could do that. Then you go up and talk, and even if it doesn't go how you want it, it doesn't end as badly as you thought. And that fear, it's real when it's in your head, but when, man, you start moving towards it, it dissolves. So I'm not minimizing what you're feeling, but what if it was there as a North Star instead of a warning sign? I want you to doubt your own fear and not just take it as truth automatically. What if you're wrong? If you want more ideas like this, I'll link down below our free newsletter, Refusing to Settle, written by yours truly and in your inbox every Saturday. I'll also send you 11 questions that if you want to go deeper on and get some more clarity on things like we're talking about here, it's a great next step. So I'll link that down below. Again, it's 100% free. This one's short. I want to talk about perspective and how you can't see things so clearly that you're this close to. You'll always think your stuff sucks more than it actually does because you're like this and you can't objectively see it because you're so close to it. Perspective is also being very aware that you're not the only one going through this. You, I'm willing to bet, are too hard on yourself. You're beating yourself up too much. You think everything you do sucks. You think everything you create isn't good. It's not, it's gonna fail. It's this. I know you want to produce quality stuff. I know you want it to be the best it can be. That's noble. But all the quality you want is on the other side of quantity. And you got to get out of your own way in order for you to get enough reps in to where it becomes quality. And it's that euphoria of overcoming resistance where you lock into a flow state. And flow states are earned. They're not just like given. You have to earn them. You have to work for them. But that's the most fun place to be, is when you're locked in, you're dialed in, you're in a flow state. I hope you take inspiration from that it depersonalize what you're going through. That if you have resistance or you feel like you're in your head and you can't produce anything, yeah, this is normal. A lot of the top performers feel it too, but what separates them is that they feel it and they do it anyway. Here's the biggest one. It might be the hardest for you to do if you're someone who's go, go, go. When you think of overthinking and anxiety and being in your head, are things moving really fast or really slow? Really fast. When you think of being stressed, is that a wavelength that's like this or like this? It's like this. My point is that oftentimes the opposite of what we're feeling when you don't know what to do is the solution. It's what I told coaching clients. If you don't know what to do the opposite of how you feel. If you're tired and you want to be energized, well, you don't lay down, you go for a walk. And it's funny, after moving for a bit, you start to feel energized. If you're depressed and you feel low energy, well, you need to express yourself. That's the opposite of it. You need to take up more space, not shrink yourself. And lo and behold, those feelings start to dissipate. If you're feeling isolated and lonely, the opposite of that is pretty easy. You want to connect with people, pick up the phone, make some phone calls, plan something. So if you don't know what to do the opposite of what you feel. We've already talked about the opposite of being in your head is creating, but the opposite of this overthinking and being like neurotic is chilling out, is slowing down. And so this is letting your nervous system chill out. That's what it is. And I think nervous system fatigue is something we're gonna hear a lot about in the next 2 to 10 years. What we're doing to ourselves, being plugged in, overstimulated. You know, we already hear that term with dopamine. Kids with 2 different iPads now, they're scrolling and playing Fortnite at the same time. Things are speeding up faster and faster. And I think the antidote to a lot of that is slowing down, is chilling out. That's literally what anti-anxiety meds do. It slows you down, right? That's what alcohol does. It numbs your prefrontal cortex so you can get out of your head by numbing it, and it forces you, it's a depressant, it forces you to slow down. So go on a walk, chill out more. Be okay being bored. Look, I'm in this camp with you. I catch myself on my phone a lot. I'm not above this, but speaking from experience this past year, what has helped me get out of my head is slowing down. Meditating, even for 10 minutes every single morning, has been extremely useful. Being mindful of caffeine intake, I find really ramps up this neuroticism, go, ADHD-ness. Stop drinking caffeine all the time. If you have addictions, this is also something that traps you from creating because you feel shame. And this could be its own video, but like the more shame you feel about yourself in general, I think the more you think the answer is outside of yourself. So you go looking to other people for it on the internet or books and tell me what to do. But the more confidence you get back when you just accept yourself and you don't have sneaky bad habits, you know, you're not jerking off, you're not drinking all the time, you're not smoking, you know, you're not vaping or using nicotine. The shame is the real damage we do with those. Okay, I'm not judging the habit, I'm not judging the behavior. I don't think any of us should. We all have our own struggles, but it's that shame story that traps you in your head. Yeah, so I guess this one is just being healthy and taking care of yourself, letting your nervous system chill out, approaching that from a multifaceted angle, the psychological perspective of like the shame, healing all that, but also the physical perspective of making sure you're outside, you're meditating, however you would de-stress. But at the core of this, remember that action is always a solution. If you don't know what to do, how can you get out of your head and act more? Don't just default to, I don't know what to do. What if you did know what to do? I'm willing to bet you do, and we're just afraid to do it. And that fear is never going to go away with more information. You can talk about a problem so much, and that can reinforce why it's there and make it worse. The solution, even if you talk something through, is always going to be more action. And so you might as well do it and skip all the talking and overthinking. Remember, the same way that too many calories in the body are stored as fat, too much potential, too much information that we stuff into us gets stored as anxiety and overthinking. And the solution is not to take in more. That is the problem. The solution is to put out more. Woo! All right, what'd you think? Let me know in the comments your experience with this. Free newsletter down below, Refusing to Settle. 100% free, sent to you Saturday. Just put in your email. Love ya. See ya in the next one. Stop settling, start living. Peace.